it's this most gushing, ridiculous interview where she's at her £11 million mansion. She says it's about truth bombs, but I think it's completely exploded in her face. There's an astonishing litany of allegations. First of all, Harry is saying, I lost my dad in this process, which implies it was Prince Charles. There's been a dramatic backpedaling from Team Markle. They're now saying, actually, it's her dad that she lost. She says that she was approached by a person in South Africa who compared the royal wedding to the release of Mandela from jail. And what kind of narcissistic imbecile do you have to be to compare your wedding to Nelson Mandela's release? But the most alarming...
people were happy for her wedding.
So was I. I think we all were. Yeah. I think as a nation we all were. And this nonsense ever since that we've been unwelcoming and racist, I think is grotesque and sinister. And actually, Eamonn, you and I briefly talked about this. I think the worst and the most serious allegation in this interview, she maintains that members of the British media called her and her children the N-word. Now, who? Where's the proof?
She has to name names on that.
Because that is an horrendous allegation of the most serious nature. You can't just drop those sort of things and not back it up. What we're seeing is, 25 years on from the death of Princess Diana, the People's Princess, we have this pampered, preening princess. And I think it just goes to show how low the rules have fallen.
But when she did that shocking interview with Oprah Winfrey and she said somebody in the royal family had questioned what her child was going to look like in terms of skin colour and the allegations of racism there, they were she never said who it was. And do you think perhaps come up with a formula that this generates headlines, it generates interest, and she can make these allegations because, they're shocking, but she doesn't have to back them up?
I think furthermore, to question the allegation or to ask for proof is in itself deemed as a racist viewpoint. And here we have this situation where you're allowed to accuse people of the worst kind of words and not naming the source. I think it's grotesque.
Ella, do you have anything to add to that? Any observation?
Well, as someone who's not got a huge amount of love for the royal family, you might think that I'd welcome Meghan's wanton destruction of them. But I think it just says something more. Martin's right, it says something more about the nature of the way in which the royals are seen. It's become more like a celebrity, helped by the fact that Meghan is acting like, and Harry, indeed, I think the two of them are in it together, are acting like this is some kind of performance from La La Land. Whereas, in the UK, people might see the role of the royal family as more serious. But I think, across the board, they're acting more like petulant celebrities than they are a firm with a role in politics and moral life.
She's got no sense of self-deprecation or humour at all.
Or duty.
But I just think the way to deal with her is to really laugh at her.
Yeah, I think she is an absurd pantomime character now. But the thing is, we all would love to ignore her, but she won't go away. She just won't stop giving these big exclusive interviews, even though she said she wants her privacy back. Well, have your privacy back and zip it.
But isn't the bit where she asked the interviewer to write down the sounds she was making when she didn't use words? I mean, what kind of request? I mean, you've interviewed some pretty loopy people in your time, Eamonn, haven't you? With some weird riders and all the rest of it. But that's got to be up there.
The thing is that I always say, Isabel and Martin, is that they are enabled by the people around them. You really have got to tap into that Hollywood, LA, film star, the courtiers that are around them, and that enable them to believe they are who they are and that they can have anything. And I think always it's summed up with Meghan Markle. She was not born to serve. She was born for people to serve her. And that is where she has fallen out with the ethos of the royal family. I mean, I'm still laughing at the idea that she said to the firm, hey, here's an idea. Why don't Harry and I go off and rule New Zealand or Canada or whatever and just make us king and queen of Canada and we'll all be happy. That'll be fine. She just doesn't get it.
No.
This is her biggest acting role or movie role that she's ever had, and boy, is she making the most of it.